this class. You can just call me Kim. That's completely fine. You can email me and just address me, hello Kim. That's completely fine with me. I just want to take this video to kind of introduce you to the course, introduce you to what we're going to be doing this semester, and then all the stuff that you should have completed by the end of this week. So we'll go through all that stuff right now, and then you'll just be on your own for the week. So a couple things I do want to let you know. This is an entirely online course. We will never be meeting face-to-face. So that means it is a little bit tricky sometimes because you are responsible for doing all the work yourself, making sure you set your own deadlines, and making sure you do have everything completed every week. However, in Canvas, I've set it up so you can easily accomplish all the tasks that are set up for you every week. I'll send out a screencast along with this video so you can kind of familiarize yourself with the Canvas modules if you're not familiar with that already. So hopefully that'll help you out a little bit when you're actually going through each week's work to make sure that you actually accomplish everything. The modules are set up mirroring exactly what's in the syllabus. So they kind of go nicely with each other. So if you're following along in the syllabus, you're going to see the exact same things in the modules as well. This will make more sense once you're clicking through it and figure all that stuff out. But I just want to let you know that that's where you can find all the work. But let's talk about a couple quick things, kind of the same sort of stuff you would in a face-to-face class that you need to know. Like I said, this course meets online, so we'll never be actually physically sitting in a classroom together. But I am on campus, as I am now. You can see I'm in my office. I'm in Brown Hall, room 358. My office hours are Mondays, 9:30 to 11:30, so I'm smack in the middle of them right now, so you can stop by if you're on campus. Feel free to swing by then, although I know most of you are off campus during the spring semester, which makes a lot of sense, even though I still have to have online or in-person office hours. Whatever. I'm here. My office phone number is area code 989-964-2016. And then my email address is listed on the syllabus, krlacey, K-R-L-A-C-E-Y, at svsu.edu. Then I also have my Skype address on there as well, because I know that, like I said, a lot of you are off campus. And so if you do want to meet face-to-face, perhaps we can have a Skype conversation as well. So my email or my Skype address is on the syllabus. The syllabus is located on campus. When you log onto Canvas, you log into our course, it's going to be the very first thing you see. It's not going to move, it's going to stay there all semester, so you'll see that there. And it's embedded, so you can just kind of scroll through it if you want to, or you can print up a copy. I've put stuff in the Files tab, all of our assignments, sample papers, all sorts of stuff like that. That's all available for you. But the syllabus is also available under the Files tab, so if you want to take a look at it there, you are more than welcome to. But a couple considerations I do want to point out. I put this in my email the other day. I put this at the very first page on Canvas as well, right above the syllabus. But I do like letting everybody know about this because a lot of people don't realize what they're getting into when they take a shortened summer class. This is a 16-week course crammed into 7 weeks. Just because you're taking a 7-week course doesn't mean you're doing half the work. You're doing all the work that you would be doing for a 16-week course. It is a 3-credit course, so you are doing 3 credits worth of work. So it is a lot of work. So you do want to make sure that you spend a lot of time setting aside or putting effort into the work that you're going to be doing this semester. English 212 is also a Category 10 course, meaning you'll be writing a lot. Because this is a writing course, prepare to spend a lot of time writing, and my allergies are killing right now, so excuse me for one quick second. Okay, that's embarrassing. Whatever. If you have allergies, you know that your nose and your sinuses are kind of going crazy right now. Anyway, as I mentioned already, this is an asynchronous course, meaning we won't be meeting ever. We'll just be online, and you do all of your work as you want to. So you don't have to be online at a certain time at any point throughout the semester. You are responsible for completing each week's module on time on your own. And then except for week 7's work and paper 3, all assignments are due by on Sundays by 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I do want to put out the time zone only because some of you are in different time zones or different countries, and so just make sure that your work is completed by 11:59 Eastern Standard Time on Sunday nights. All right, another thing that I want to point out, I'm going to be doing a lot of boring beginning of the semester stuff in this video, but I just want to point out a lot of things for you so you feel comfortable with what we're doing for the class. What's really important is because this is an online class, you want to make sure you have continued access to a computer and the internet. If you want to ask yourself, what will happen if my computer goes down or my internet goes down for a significant period of time, and your answer is, I'm doomed, then this might not be the course for you. So you do want to make sure that you are actually considering what access you have and continual access you do have. I also want to point out that a lot of people like to take summer vacations. We're human. But also make sure that you are planning to get the course assignments done on time. Even if you are out of town, you are still responsible for completing the work on time. And I'll get to the late work policy in just a minute, but I just want to make sure that you do have continued access. I encourage all my students to use something like a Google Drive or Dropbox or something, because a lot of times, you might have it saved on one computer, your work saved on one computer, but maybe you use a friend's computer, or if you're going out of town and you didn't bring your computer with you, you still have to have access to your work. So really starting to use or become familiar with cloud computing is really going to be important for you, so you have access to your work across different computers if you need to. All right, let me scroll through the syllabus here. I told you that everything, everything is on your own. We're not going to meet. I encourage you to check the course daily, even if it is just to check in. Sometimes I'll post something, sometimes people will respond to some of your discussion posts, and you want to be in the course conversation instead of waiting to the last minute to complete that. So I encourage you to at least check in once a day. If anything, just to kind of review stuff. Check your SVSU email at least once a day as well, because sometimes I'll send out updates, or sometimes I'll send out little reminders, stuff like that. So make sure you're checking those. I do want to point out that there is something called a Questions for Kim discussion board, and I encourage all the students to actually use this. You can post questions up there. Oftentimes, I will actually post questions that I receive via email, and then I'll post our answer there too, because a lot of times, like if we're in a traditional face-to-face classroom, somebody can ask a question and everybody hears the answer. But in an online classroom, I get 20 of the same questions. So instead of writing 20 different emails, I'll write one response in the Questions for Kim discussion board. So if you have a question about something, it might be in your best interest to check the Questions for Kim discussion board first and then email me. If the question isn't there, feel free to shoot me an email and I'll be happy to help you out. Okay, let's see. I do expect you to know how to use Canvas. I did put a link to a how-to video and help guide that Canvas puts up. I put it in the syllabus. So take a look at that if you're not super familiar with Canvas. Make sure you do familiarize yourself with that, but there are really helpful how-to guides available for you. All right, participation. I strongly suggest you log on once a day. Sorry, water break. All right, I'm back. Didn't really go anywhere. Like I said, if anything, just to make sure you know what's going on in the course. And as in a face-to-face class, attendance, meaning logging in, doesn't necessarily equal participation. So making sure that you are up to date with the conversations that are happening. If we are doing something in a discussion board and you see something that you want to discuss or you want to comment on, do it. That is important for your grade. You do want to make sure that you are an active participant of the class, not just doing the bare minimum, but actually doing and participating in the discussions that are happening. It is very similar to a face-to-face class in that way, where you do have to kind of jump into the conversation, but it is just in a different medium. So that might take a little getting used to, but I just want to emphasize that right now. And since a lot of our conversations, in fact all of our conversation, will be online, I do want to make sure that everybody's tone in the online environment is appropriate. Making sure that we're using appropriate language, making sure that we're not condemning people for their opinions or condemning people because, oh, I think you're wrong or this and that, but just making sure that we're respectful of each other in the online spaces, because sometimes that can get misconstrued. So really thinking about the words that we're using, thinking about the language that you're using. And this is important in a writing class. We think about those types of ideas all the time. All right, let me flip through here. We have one book that you're going to need. It's called How to Think About Weird Things. Obviously, it's backwards right now. But this is the book you're going to need. It is the, 7th edition? Right up top there. And you will need this edition It's important that you get this one because some of the questions are different, some of the readings are different from the other editions, so you do need the 7th edition. You do need that this week. You do have a reading from it, so make sure you get access to it. I don't care if you use an ebook or a used copy or whatever, but make sure you do get access to it. It has been ordered at the library, but you can find it on Amazon or Heft.com or any other website that you want to buy used books or new books or whatever from. So it is available for you. We do have several different assignments this semester. 44% of your grade will be discussions and assignments. These are smaller little assignments that will appear as you go through the modules. These could be things like discussion questions. These could be things like quizzes. I put things like as quizzes because it's really just bookwork, but it helps me see each person's individual answers easier. It's not really a quiz, so don't freak out about it. Obviously, it's open book because you're at home or wherever you are and you have the book in front of you. But so when you see like quiz, don't think of it as a quiz. Just think of it as additional work to help you think through some of the ideas in the book that we're reading. These could be, like I said, discussion posts, responding to other people's discussion posts, maybe a peer review on a paper, all sorts of stuff like that. So that's a big chunk of your grade. Sorry, another water break. Okay, I'm back. We do have 3 papers this semester: a logical fallacies paper, experiencing persuasion, and then search formula. All of the assignment details are up on Canvas for you. They are under the Files tab, but you can also find them under Assignments, and you can also find them under the modules as you click through them. Next week, I will talk about paper number 1 in this video, so you'll see me again talking about it, but that'll come back soon enough. And then the final 10% of your grade is professionalism, meaning that as a member of this class, you are responsible for participating appropriately in the course activities that we do. It's not, if you don't understand everything that we're doing, that's fine. Confusion is okay. That's how we learn things. So if you are reading something, you're like, I don't get this. You could talk about that confusion on the discussion board. That's okay. So I just want to put that out there. The grading scales listed in the syllabus. I do want to point out that SVSU doesn't give C- grades. Anything lower than a 73% defaults to a D. Anything lower than a 60% automatically defaults to an F. And within that range, there are no pluses and minuses. So sometimes at the end of the semester, when a student does fall in that range and they have a question about what happens, I do like to point out that that is an SVSU policy. But hopefully, we won't have that issue. Hopefully all of you will do well and pass a class. So fingers crossed. All right. Access, I talked about email. The late work policy, I don't take it. I don't accept late work, period. You have to make sure that all of your work is done on time. That is really important. And I do want to emphasize once again that the deadlines are Sunday nights with the exception of week 7 because the semester ends on a Saturday. So I can't accept work that Sunday. So that because of that Saturday cutoff, week 7's work, including paper 3, will be done due that Saturday. But every other week besides that, everything is due by Sunday evening, 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be sure that you submit everything on time. This includes all the bookwork, all the little stuff that you have to do throughout the week. All of those little teeny tiny activities are all due by Sunday night. Anytime we have a major paper, one of those 3 papers I just briefly mentioned, I will send a confirmation email to you, letting you know that I received that paper. And it's super important that you look for that email, because if you don't get that email, that means I didn't get your paper. When we get closer to submitting an actual paper, I'll come back to this idea or this policy and remind you, but I do let everybody know that I have received their paper, so you want to make sure that you're looking out for that. So once again, no late work. Disability and non-discrimination clause. If you need extra accommodations for something, I encourage you to contact the SVSU Disabilities Office. I put their phone number and how to contact them on the syllabus, so make sure you do take advantage of that if you need it. The academic integrity policy is all there. I put the link to the full academic integrity policy, but basically, don't cheat. If you do cheat, and that includes some even minor or major plagiarism, we'll be talking about, how do we cite sources appropriately, how do we use research appropriately, but any form of plagiarism, this includes, this is in the syllabus, this is taken from the SVSU Academic Code of Conduct, directly transcribing or copying without quotation or attribution, summarizing without attribution, paraphrasing or patchwork paraphrasing without attribution, attribution, patching electronic materials, including pictures, graphs, and or charts without attribution. So making sure that you're citing your information. Again, because this is an English class, these are topics we'll come back to throughout the semester. And if I do catch you, that will result in a grade of 0 for that assignment. And it will be reported to the Academic Conduct Board for further sanctions. They don't take summer vacation. They are there all year. So I do report people when and if I do catch you, or if and when. I said that backwards. Cheating. All right, the Writing Center is also available over the summer. They are there 2 days, Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Tuesdays 11 to 3 and Wednesdays noon to 5. So they're on the second floor of the library now after the renovation has been completed. So you can contact them if you need it. Okay, now I'm into the course calendar. I'm just scrolling through the syllabus here. Sorry if I'm like going back and forth on your screen. I emailed you the other day about a couple different things to, be aware of. Welcome to the course. I attached that syllabus, and I also encouraged you to complete Module 0. Kind of take a look around. There's a little video I asked you to watch. Some of you have watched it and have contacted me, so I applaud you for doing that work. There's also a Module 0 quiz, kind of just a little teeny tiny quiz, kind of just introducing you to different places in our course. It was a very low stakes sort of thing, very easy questions. But make sure you do take that because I want to make sure everyone is familiar with Canvas. A couple of you did email me over the weekend showing me that the Module 0 quiz was unavailable, and I'm sorry for that, but it is available now, so you can actually complete that. But let's take a look at what is available for you for this week. As you'll see in the course calendar, everything, like I said, is set up by the week and all your weekly tasks, so you can see how many tasks you have every week. So for this week, for example, there are 9 different little tabs or tasks, I guess you could say, in the first module, Module 1. And our theme this week is Introductions and Kinds of Argumentation. So the first thing is a welcome. So you'll see that first of all when you go to Canvas, when you click the Modules button. Again, I'll send out a screencast soon so you'll see what I'm talking about. Then you'll see the weekly update link, which is actually what you're watching right now. I'm going to email it to you, but you'll also see it in Canvas. You don't have to rewatch it if you watched it directly from the email, but it's just there as well. Then you have a discussion post where you have to introduce yourself. There are instructions there on how to do that. Then you have a reading from our textbook. You have 32 pages to read. You have chapters 1 and 2. Then you'll move on to watch a little Prezi. It's kind of like a PowerPoint. If you're not familiar with it, it just moves a little differently. But it's about subjective versus objective argumentation. Since we're going to be dealing with different types of argumentation this semester, I think it's really important to start off with different types of arguing and the ways that we use different techniques in order to accomplish those goals. Then you're responsible for a discussion post. And again, the instructions are there. The subjective versus objective. Then you will move into this flight versus invisibility. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but I refer to it as flight versus invisibility. The title's a little bit different, but I actually put a note there that says, this is what I mean when I say flight versus invisibility. There's an audio version of it if you want to, but there's also a transcript if you don't feel like listening to it, if you just want to read through it. Choose either one of those. You don't have to do both because they're exactly the same. And then after that, you have flight versus invisibility, a discussion post. And then to close off the week, you have a small little assignment about critical reading and writing, which is directly from our textbook. So that'll actually give you instructions about how to accomplish that. So those are the tasks that you have to do this week. So there is a bit, and like I've warned you, it is a lot of work, because it is a 16-week semester kind of smushed into 7 weeks. So we do have a lot to get through in 1 week. So I do want to just make sure you're aware of that. And there's no shame if you realize, oh crap, I didn't realize there'd be this much work. If you want to drop the course, that's completely fine. That is, I know a lot of people do have that assumption when they take a summer class that it's going to be half the work when they realize, oh, it actually isn't. It's the same amount, but just less time. So if this isn't for you, that's totally fine. But I just want to make you aware of that. I think that's everything I need to do for this week. Let me scroll through. Yeah, that's all I've got for you right now. And that's fine. That's a lot. All right. Well, I'm going to sign off. I'll let you get to work. If you have questions, please feel free to ask. And I look forward to a really good semester. All right. Bye.